Bo Nix. Oh, he's been so good. However, he hasn't quite caught Jayden Daniels, who was running away with the Rookie of the Year award. Now, he has been slowed due to a rib injury,
Yes.
Jayden Daniels. But Dan Quinn says that's not why the offense has been less efficient.
Jayden is not injured right now, but we did lose valuable practice time, John, with him and his teammates when he was injured. And that's hard on all the guys. It's a really, really important part of what we do.
Yeah, I think the concern about him was he's a little thin, and would he be durable enough for the NFL? So we've already seen a little bit of this. He got dinged up, and it's taken him a while to get back, and he lost practice time. Still excellent. We don't want to admit this, but Bo Nix is actually now the best rookie quarterback.
Oh, let's.
Well, I don't know. It's called data.
Which data would that be, by the way?
The stuff that comes out of the copier today and put in my hands.
So we got some numbers on Jayden Daniels. He came out of the gate hot. Last 4 games, he has struggled.
Yes.
I mean, Dan Quinn's not going to give the opposition ammo saying that, he's got a rib injury. Then they'll just come after him and drill him in the ribs. And,
I get it. I still like him. It's just all these young quarterbacks have bad stretches. Bo Nix didn't. He was bad early, and he's just gotten better for 9 straight weeks.
I don't know that Daniels has been bad. He's just been less great.
Yes, that's
How about
fair.
that? Like against Pittsburgh, he didn't cost them the game.
Listen, we know this. He's a franchise quarterback.
He certainly has looked it.
C.J. Stroud has had a 5-game stretch. Bad O-line. He's got the yips a little bit. He's letting go of the ball a little early. Had Nico Collins, then Stephon Diggs. We all know C.J. Stroud's an NFL franchise quarterback. He's fine. But young quarterbacks, when Mixon's gone, when the O-line this year is bad, it wasn't bad last year, he's letting go of the ball early. In golf, they call it the yips. You know, you can see C.J. Stroud. He's letting the ball go faster.
Well, he doesn't trust his protection. I mean, it's bad.
Exactly. And he's been hammered the last month. And C.J.'s like, I don't want. You see last night when they had a safe.
Okay, now we're talking about C.J. Stroud. I'm trying to talk about Jayden Daniels, man. Okay, let's talk about Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Okay, let's talk about this. First off, I 100% agree with J-Mac and disagree with Colin in the terms of, like, Jayden Daniels hasn't been playing bad those last 4 games at all. Listen, they've been tough matchups. Not only is he a little banged up, and I don't even really think that's fully the problem, but he's been a little banged up, missing some practices and whatnot, which definitely affects you, especially being a rookie quarterback. The dude is still learning how to be a quarterback in the NFL, okay? And so in the NFL, we know this just by teams off of a bye record and great coaches, that if there's any little bit of an advantage or disadvantage in the NFL, they make you pay for it. They just do. So even if you're just slightly compromised or slightly missing practice, it's going to be at a disadvantage for you, even if you're a seasoned veteran, but especially if you're a rookie quarterback. Going up against the Eagles and the Steelers was always going to be a really, really tough matchup. Fangio and Mike Tomlin, 2 great longtime defensive minds, it's going to be in their bag to really take care of a rookie quarterback. It just is. That is what they will do, especially with the added benefit of it being a divisional game at home for Fangio and the Philadelphia Eagles. And then again, we see what Mike Tomlin does against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. He's very familiar with that style of quarterback play. And again, I don't even think Jayden Daniels played poorly. Like I highlighted, everyone was like, oh, these are career lows. And it's like, well, yeah, this is his first season. Of course he's going to have career lows at least once throughout this season. Like it has to happen. He has to have a career low. Like it's, it's literally going to happen when every single game is part of the beginning of his career. So that was always kind of overstated, quite frankly. So I really don't think there's anything to worry about Jayden Daniels. I mean, a lot of Commanders fans, they started saying Jayden Daniels doesn't look right or he doesn't look focused, and I wholeheartedly disagree with that. And then people now started complaining about Cliff Kingsbury, and it's like, right, in that 4-2 stretch, everybody was praising Cliff Kingsbury and everything that team was doing and Jayden Daniels, and now it's like, oh, Jayden Daniels is banged up and Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know what he's doing. And it's like, we got to settle down, guys. We got to settle down. We have to look and see the chain of events that unfolded. You always have to look at the chain of events. They always matter. You have to see how we got to where we were and where we were before. Okay, like and where we are now. Like that you always have to kind of trace back. And you can't just jump and say, Jayden Daniels doesn't look right, or Jayden Daniels is hurt, or Jayden Daniels is overrated, or Jayden Daniels only did this against bad teams, or Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know what he's doing. And it's like, so he knew what he was doing before, and now he doesn't know what he's doing now. Doesn't really make sense. So I think Jayden Daniels will bounce back, and I think playing the Washington Commanders on Sunday should be, right, they're at home. They're playing off of, they pretty much have like a glorified bye since they played on Thursday, while the Cowboys played on Monday, and you're going up against a backup quarterback. I mean, who knows? Is it going to be Cooper Rush again? Is it going to be Trey Lance? I mean, who honestly knows at this point? This is going to be a game where we're going to see, okay, let's see what Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders look like. I mean, they're favored by 10.5 points. They should take care of business. Jayden Daniels should look very comfortable. This is the type of game that you want to see Jayden Daniels look like what he did against the Cleveland Browns, the Arizona Cardinals, the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Like, that's what we're kind of looking to see them kind of get back to that style of play. And when we get back to that style of play, everybody will then stop with the Cliff Kingsbury this, Jayden Daniels hurt that, right? Like, that will no longer be a thing necessarily. But in terms of Quinn, though, saying Jayden is not injured right now, we know Jayden is a little injured because he even said, you might see me, I think Jayden Daniels himself said, yeah, when I throw, you might see me grimace, but I'm fine. Like, so it's still a thing. Not to mention, and this is what is such an underlooked part of an injury, even if an injury itself doesn't actually compromise how you play within the game, which definitely can be possible with certain injuries, it will most definitely compromise how you feel after the game and how you sleep the next few nights and the amount of soreness and then what you can do in practice the following days. All of that stuff is connected. So even if it doesn't actually matter, it's just more of kind of like a pain tolerance type thing in the game, it still affects him after the game. He has to now get extra treatment. And instead of doing what he would have done normally, he's now putting time in treatment. Instead of maybe doing, I don't know, weightlifting or looking at film, whatever it may be, instead he's laying on a table getting massage and stim and ice and heat and whatever the heck they do these days for these athletes. Like, it's just a disruption of his already very new NFL routine. And again, a very underlooked thing is when you're injured, your sleep gets compromised. And one of the things that a doctor looks for, a surgeon especially looks for to know how recovered are you, is they say, like, how do you sleep? Does your injury affect how you sleep? It's actually one of the main questions that even a physical therapist will ask to be able to relay to a insurance company to see if they can, essentially, if the insurance company can stop paying for your treatment, essentially, right? So if you ever have physical therapy and you're injured and they ask you, how are you sleeping? Just be like, oh, my injury, man, it's really affecting my sleep. And then that will help you continue to get money towards your rehab visits. But that's also part of it as well. And obviously we don't have all those answers about Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels isn't telling me how well he's sleeping. But it's just I'm just trying to emphasize that even if it's not 100%, even if it is like not causing any issues on the field, like what Dan Quinn might be kind of saying, it can be causing problems beyond that, outside of that which still can have a greater effect. So but yeah, this is a rookie season. You're gonna have ups and downs, you're gonna face adversity, you're gonna have some rough patches, but I still think Jayden Daniels looks really good, even in those last 4 games. Even when he had moments that weren't great, he still had other moments that were truly special, and he did put the team in a position to win. Like, you couldn't really point to some of those games and say he's why they lost. You can point to other quarterbacks and be like, that's why they lost. You can't do that with Jayden Daniels this season. You just can't. And that is a massive, massive victory. He's obviously a franchise quarterback. In terms of the whole debate, I'm not really going to get into it too deeply right here, but in terms of the whole debate of who's the rookie of the year right now, Bo Nix or Jayden Daniels, I don't know, man. Ask me on the day. I'll say it's 55 Jayden Daniels, 45 Bo Nix. And then an hour from now, I'll reverse it and say it's 55% Bo Nix, 55 Jayden Daniels. Like, to me, what it comes down to is it's like neck and neck, and it's going to be whoever finishes out the season hotter. right? That's honestly what it will be. Does anyone have like another big moment? If Bo Nix beats the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Like that'll be big time. A couple of the division games I think have the ability to be to really help boost Bo Nix in that conversation, whereas Jayden Daniels beating the Cowboys, not anything. Beating the Giants, not anything. If they beat the Eagles, that could definitely be something, unless it's like the Eagles have already locked up their playoff seeding, whether it's the number 1 seed or the division or whatever it is, and then it's just kind of like a non-meaningful game for at least the Eagles, then that would be a little bit less impressive. I mean, you could technically make the argument that that could be a win for the Broncos as well, although I would say that the Chiefs, even if they have everything locked up, as long as Patrick Mahomes and all the starters are playing, it's beating the Chiefs is still considered to be like the cream of the crop in the NFL. And I think that would go a very long way for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, more than saying Jayden Daniels beating the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. So it's going to be interesting. It's actually kind of fun that we have this race between the two of them going back and forth. Who's going to win? It's exciting. It's fun. No matter who you're rooting for, it's fun to not have things be a runaway. Right? Like it's fun, honestly, like as fun as watching a team dominate and players dominate, it's really fun to have competition, to have these players go side by side. That's what we were lacking with Caleb Williams and all of that. Even that game versus the Bears versus the Commanders was hardly a duel between these two quarterbacks. It's not the way how that game unfolded. Obviously, Jayden Daniels got the last laugh and had the Hail Mary and all of that, but it was hardly the game that anyone was really thinking that they were going to see, especially preseason when we saw the schedule be released. So it's cool that Bo Nix has kind of entered this conversation, is now making things significantly more competitive. But I'm sure virtually every single Washington Commanders fan feels that Jayden Daniels is indeed the rookie of the year. So it's going to be funny to see kind of the comments and the conversations. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jayden Daniels and how he's been playing, and kind of what some of the expectations are for the rest of the season, his health, rookie of the year conversation? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.